Qapla!
I'm going to take this opportunity, however, to suggest that we all hail Daroga. Oh, that's all I'm saying.
Forgive me, Doctor. I'm receiving a number of distress calls. I don't doubt it.
Y'all remember the ship your waitresses. Have a mighty fine night.
You come in peace, surrender or be destroyed. Dare to make war? Please surrender. False good. Important news are leading you people.
When the appointed hour arrives, the Marauders will deactivate their cloaking devices and begin transporting Klingon shock troops directly to the landing zone.
Landing zone? Where? Tell me.
Why not? Your feeble weapons will be useless against us. We will kill all your males and take your females to mate with.
All right. Now the Federation's taking over, whether you like it or not. You people, you've been running this planet like a piecework thing. From now on, it's going to be under one roof. You're going to run it like a business. That's easy. You're going to make a profit.
Look at these 3 words written larger than the rest, with a special pride never written before, or since. Tall words, proudly saying, "We the people."
Hi, I'm Nicole DeBoer. I played Lieutenant Ezri Dax on DS9, and I welcome you to Bird O' Prey 5 channel. Hail Karoga.
Hello world, it's Bird O' Prey 5 Qapla, and welcome to Deep Space Nine Wednesday for Wednesday, January 27th, 2021. Today we're going to watch Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Season 4, Episode 20, Shattered Mirror. And this is the episode where Jennifer Sisko, kidnaps Jake Sisko, brings him to the mirror universe so that Captain Sisko has to follow them, and then they have to, use Captain Sisko to fix their version of the Defiant. And of course he does so willingly, because why not? The Terrans are in a good fight. And we see a mirror version of Worf for the first time, who is Regent of the Cardassian-Klingon alliance. And Sassy is quite excited, if you can hear her barking, because we're about to get a UPS delivery, which, Sassy, I will not neglect you this time, Sassy. We'll let things... This is similar to what happened last time. Mamo Prey's downstairs. So Sassy is barking for Mamo Prey. It's okay, Sassy. It's okay. It's okay. I'm here. Everything's okay. You can calm down, Sassy. No worries. We're good. It's just a box. It's all good, Sassy. Okay. Okay. She's quietly watching the UPS guy leave. Sorry about that. That's reminded me of last week. Okay. Yeah, you can lay down again, Sassy. You did your job. Good girl. There'll be an extra piece of chicken in your dinner tonight. So yeah. So it's a Mirror Universe episode of DS9. I felt like they could have done more with Mirror Jennifer, but this is what we got. So we'll take it. Now let's go to the chat. Josh Street is first I see in my chat at 2:13 p.m. Eastern, and said, "Down with Dictator Bird O' Prey 5, hail Sassy and Clone O' Prey." I was on the phone Mamo Pray, a UPS package was delivered. That was the barking. Yeah, you can go. I've turned the camera off. Josh Reed, yeah, down with Dictator Bird of Prey, hail Sassy and Clone of Prey. I talked with Sisko Prey and Nephew of Prey earlier today. Clone of Prey, although his name is Nephew of Prey or Charlie, is doing well. Josh Reed says, damn, why is Bird always late to his own streams? Damn you, that was 2 hours and 15 minutes before the stream started officially. 47 Yorktown says, Shattered Mirror, that's 7 years of Michael Burnham. What the hell does that mean? 7 years of Michael Burnham. We don't want 7 years of Michael Burnham. Oh, because it's 7 years of bad luck. I gotcha. Maybe because they called it Shattered Mirror. Maybe that's why we've got Star Trek Discovery. It's possible. Josh Reed says, when is Lato Prey going to start the show? Well, I started a few minutes early. Josh Reed says, the 47 Yorktown, you're right. Unless it's Bird, that Shattered Mirror is 40 years of Michael Burnham. You okay, Mama Bray?
I got to tell you, you got the delivery a year later.
Oh, wow. My CPAP supplies finally came. We placed the order originally February 10th, 2020. And they kept saying insurance is denying it, but insurance wouldn't cover it. They didn't even send it. They wouldn't even send it because insurance wasn't going to deny it. They said insurance wouldn't cover it all of a sudden. So yes, 11 months later, after several buys of the CPAP supplies on Amazon and Mamo Prey going above and beyond, cleaning and re-cleaning the CPAP supplies to make them extend ever so longer. Finally, today of all days, Apria finally delivered my new CPAP supplies. Thank you to whomever finally got them off their ass and got them to me. Rock Solid says, all hail our fallen comrade. All hail Admiral Oliver Franklin Doom. Absolutely rock solid. And today, as you guys, I'm sure you all know, but as I pinned in the comments right before we started, the Admiral's memorial service will be broadcast live on the History with R&R channel at 6:45 p.m. Eastern, roughly 2 hours and 10 minutes from now. So given our DS9 streams typically go about 90 minutes, we will have plenty of time between streams. And I was so happy on Captain Trek's stream earlier this morning that Paula, I sound like I'm saying Paula, his lovely wife, finally was able to make it onto the stream with a microphone and talk with us. And she has a lovely voice, and I was so happy we could be there for her, as she said, because she wasn't working for the next few days. She really doesn't know what she's going to do with her mornings, but Captain Trek will be there with the morning brew, and the rest of us can be there to be there for her. And it was a very, very sweet morning with her on Morning Brew today. And
I've been monitoring your communications with Starfleet Command.
I'm very, very happy to be a part of that community. And John Araki, thank you so much for the $1 super chat. Greatly appreciate it, John Araki. Josh Reed says, oh, where is Lato Prey? Oh, where can he be? Oh, where is Lato Prey? Oh, where can he be? Oh, where is Lato Prey? Oh, where can he be? I'm right here when I'm supposed to be. Rock Solid says, Josh Street, based on Where's My Neighbor? Question mark. Well, I didn't get it. Josh reads this, but rock solid, you stole all of the Hairbergs in Karoga? The hell's a Hairberg? Rock solid says, I will also say I was overjoyed when the one and only Thomas Potts joined my video premiere earlier today. Thomas is back. He escaped the Poopsylvania prisons. Awesome. Congratulations, Thomas Potts, that you've escaped. You're back. I hope to see you one day. Montley's Folly, Qapla Montley's Folly says, Hail, bird of prey. How are you today, good sir? Monty. Doing okay, Monty. Thank you for asking. And Monty's Folly also says, also, mind if I get a shout out? Since the 1st of January, I've lost 15 pounds and 9 ounces. Well done, Monty. Qapla. Congratulations. Weight loss. It is a hard struggle. And congratulations. Assuming you wanted to lose that weight, I assume, since you wanted a shout out. Believe me, I know how tough it can be. And yeah, so I was going to say, it's almost equal to Charlie. All the weight is leaving you and going to Charlie. Life with Matthew. You see, there's this great, the bio weight of all humans stays the same. Somebody loses, somebody gains. No, that's not how it works. Life with Matthew says DS9 Wednesday. Absolutely, Life with Matthew. Welcome, Qapla. Although Life with Matthew, I got to be honest, I've been hearing reports from somebody that we know in common that you may have started your own country of Mathlandia or something, and you're no longer technically Karogan. Well, if that's true, I just say good luck with that little venture of yours. Monty's Folly hails Life with Matthew. Rock Solid says, shut up, Wes. Life with Matthew. Richie Pool says, Qapla, Richie Pool. I hope the snow has melted in Phoenix. Life with Matthew hails to Monty's Folly. Life with Matthew says, I won't be silenced, Rock Solid Productions. That's the way. That's the spirit. Monty says, Life with Matthew. I could have used today. I was on a service job and an automation control guy was useless. Yes, Life with Matthew could have been better. Monty also says, as in so bloody useless, he managed to wire an e-stop switch backwards. Not Ryan Johnson says, hello in Qapla. Hail, Karoga. The Bun Empire will cower in fear from Karogan might. And just a shout out, if anybody has seen Cinnabon or Cinnabon, if you're out there, if you could type a hello or something in the chat. I realize it's been an unusual amount of days since I've seen you online, and you haven't been in the game, and I just worry everything is okay with Cinnabon Bunny. If anybody's heard from him, please just let me know. I'd appreciate it. I don't need to know what you spoke about, just if you did actually speak with him, I'd appreciate heads up that somebody has spoken with him lately. Where were we? Rock Solid says, I'm floored. I just learned someone I worked with for 10 plus years in the hobby industry and my wife worked with for 3+ years in catering died today. Wow, I am so sorry to hear that, Rock Solid. And yeah, no words. No, I'm sorry. Monty says, damn, that sucks. I'm really sorry to hear that. Rock Solid says, Monty, Folly, thanks. He was the first one to really cut me a break in 2005 when I joined the company, a truly decent person. It seems like the world is losing decent people very quickly. And Life with... What'd you say, man? Life with Matthew donated $1 and says, I left Karoga after you forced me to capture and torture Thomas Potts, I've had it with Kuroga. Somehow that doesn't, I don't think that's actually Life with Matthew saying that. Derek McManus says another dive into the mirror universe. Yes, this is the third of 5. And you see, it's weird. When you put up a number that's less than 5, you use this, you use the front of your hand. But when you say 5, you use the front of your hand. But when you put up a number that's less than 5, you use the back of your hand. I never noticed that until just now, and I think it's weird. That's the back. That's the front. Yeah, right? Either way, you use the other side. What's up with that? Why not just do it this way? 5. No, that's not 5. That's 5. This is 3. So this is the third of 5 episodes that take place in the Mirror Universe in Deep Space Nine. Derek says another dive. Monty says, that makes it worse, man. Best thing you can do is follow his example and pay it forward when you can. Absolutely. And then I put up the link for the memorial service at 6:45 today, Eastern, 2 hours from now on the History with R&R channel. Supreme Chancellor is in the house. Qapla, Supreme Chancellor. Robert Rose Jr. says, hello today, Berto Prey, Mamo Prey, and Sassy. How's it going? How is Kuroga's President-elect Biden doing? Biden is not president of Kuroga. America. Biden is president of America. Things are still going. It was quite funny to see President Biden he's not so great at numbers. No, I'm not claiming I'm great at numbers either, but he said that they ordered in 600 million doses of vaccine. And then he said that's enough to vaccinate 300 Americans. Now I know he meant to say 300 million, and I could forgive it. I certainly should forgive it. We should all forgive it. It was just a typo of the mouth, as I like to say. But then he repeated it again within another minute. He said, once again, that's enough to vaccinate 300 Americans. Emphasis on the 300. And I was just like, oh, Joe. Oh, Joe. Good luck. I hope he really did get the 600 million doses, or he will have by midsummer 600 million doses. But we're going to need to vaccinate a little more than 300 people. Carlo Albanese says hi and hope everyone's as well as can be. Thank you, Carlo. Hope you are as well as can be. And hail Kuroga. Life with Matthew says, Berta Pere, have you been slimming down? No, Life with Matthew. If anything, I've plumped up a few pounds. Joseph says, it's good to be here. Greetings from the future. Greetings, Joseph. Dee Dee says, Qapla Bird, how are you and the family doing today? We're doing okay, Dee Dee. Mike Richards says, greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Greetings, Mike Richards. Dee Dee says, Joseph, hello, how are you? And Mike Richards also asks Mike Richards how they are. 47 Yorktown says, hello, young sir. Qapla 47 Yorktown. Mountains of Elysium says, greetings, Berto Prey, Momo Prey, Sassy, Sisso Prey, Nephew O Prey, the Ball Buster, and fellow nerds. Thank you, Mountains. Dee Dee says, the 47 Yorktown Mountains, good afternoon. Mountains of Elysium says, and greetings to Sassy, chaser of Endorians, eater of Pakled, stalker of Klingons, defiler of Vulcans, and the scourge of Cardassia. Aroo! But Sassy just went outside with Mamo Prey. Dee Dee says, have my reminder set. Very good. Yes, have your reminder set for this evening's memorial service. Joseph Patrick says, Dee Dee, I am well, a bit tired, but otherwise good. John DeMarco says hello to everyone. Thomas Potts, welcome back. Thomas Potts, who is getting a... Thomas, would you be upset if I gave you your wrench back? Because I want to, but let me know. And he says, impeach life with Matthew. Wow. Mountains of Elysium says, Thomas Potts escaped Kurdistan, and there was much rejoicing. Dee Myers is Joseph. That's great to hear. He's doing good. Thanks for asking. Joseph says, the return of Potts was supposed to be a secret. Well, that's the worst kept secret. And in wherever. John DeMarco says, hashtag impeach life with Matthew. He's not, impeach him for what? I mean, that's like trying to impeach somebody who's no longer present. Oh, never mind. When fiction is less believable, more believable than the real world. John DeMarco says, glad you're back, Thomas Potts. Carlo puts in the Karogan flag. Hail Karoga. Life with Matthew says, Monty's Folly, how did you mess up wiring an e-stop? Wiring for an e-stop. Well, not Monty, but the guy. Monty says it was wired in such a way that the machine would only work when it was pressed. That's an e-stop, I assume, is an emergency stop. Live with Matthew says, Bird of Prey, don't believe the lies. I am still part of Karoga. I'm still part of Karoga. I'm just fighting impeachment on my own Discord server for those who seek to sow division. But I got another message from Life with Matthew for $1 that says, I've had it with Karoga, Kurdistan, and Bunnyland. All you poopy pants don't measure up to my leadership, creativity, and have smaller dictators than I have. Revenge is a dish best served cold. Cry havoc, and let's slip the dogs of war. Come on. Wow, those are some fighting words there, Life with Matthew. Mountains of Elysium puts in the alpacas and says, remember the alpacamo. Monty says, I had no idea how he managed to do it, but he did it. Monty, Life with Matthew, that's a weird answer to Monty's Folly. Mountains of Elysium says, greetings to my friend in the north, to Derek McManus. Qapla, Derek McManus. Live with Matthew says, freaking YouTube. Thomas Potts says, Live with Matthew, profanity at John DeMarco, Article 40. John DeMarco says, I'll add it to the list. Damn it, says Life with Matthew. Oh boy, Life with Matthew is going to get impeached. Mountains of Elysium is home in Karoga, where Sassy and the alpacas play. Where often is heard an SOB from Bird, and he flips off Kurdistan all day. Yes, thank you, Mountains. Thomas Potts is Bird of Prey. Did you see the new press secretary? She keeps telling the press to ask questions to other agencies. I did not. Well, I did see her, but I didn't see her say that. I saw her say something weird. It's not worth getting into. Mountains of Elysium says, greetings to Thomas. Joseph says, looks like you'll get a few million vaccines. Hope your body can take the poking. So let's see, 200,000 vaccines per person. Darwin the dolphin donated $1 and says, Darwin loves Matthew. Matthew rides Darwin all the time. I don't know who Darwin the dolphin is, but that's a little spooky. And Thomas says, no wrench. Okay, Thomas, your choice. I respect it. Mike Richards says, greetings to Thomas. John DeMarco says, Bird of Prey, we're impeaching him as leader of his Discord. That is really weird. Mountains of Elysium says, Bird of Prey, are you sure it was Carl in the deck chair on Discovery? It may have been Bernie. I've heard there's rumors. There's some video evidence that it might have been burning. Live with Matthew says, curse my multiple personalities. I never should have shared my credit card information with them. Yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem. Hail Darwin, says John DeMarco. Also says Bird of Prey. Darwin is the greatest character ever. And Life with Matthew says, no death to Darwin? Really, Life with Matthew? Calling for death of somebody? Or some animal? Even worse. Mr. CCDV says, golly, Life with Matthew, watch your doggone mouth. Yeah. I can't believe that Life with Matthew is actually calling for the death of an animal. An innocent dolphin. Of all things. Okay, guys, so you know how this works, I assume. We're going to watch the episode of Deep Space Nine, Season 4, Episode 20, Shattered Mirror. If you've got your own copy, if you've got CBS All Access, or you've got Hulu, or Netflix, or Amazon Prime Video, you can go and you can queue up that episode. If you don't and you want to watch my copy with me just while we're live as a one-time thing, you can't watch it if you're watching this after the fact, then you can go to the screening room address, which is on the bottom of the page there inside the window, birdoprey5.com/SR. In your browser, open a separate tab, please, so you can leave your YouTube window open so you can still hear the commentary. And you can watch the episode in the other tab. And yeah, it'll be a few seconds behind. That's normal. Nothing we can do about it. It's just the best we can do. And if you can't go to the screening room and you don't have your own copy, then on the main view screen, you will see a screenshot of the episode about once every 10 seconds. So you'll know where we are in the episode if you've seen it before. Not CVS All Access, CBS. Uncle Remus is Bird of Prey. Are you the one investing in AMC and GameStop stocks? No, I'm not, but I gotta say, I read those articles and I thought it was effing hilarious how Reddit and Elon Musk are basically caused Wall Street stock companies, stock brokers, and mutual funds to lose millions, if not billions of dollars by artificially propping up GameStop and possibly other stocks. Unfortunately, this is basically we all know this is an artificial bubble, almost like a pyramid scheme. And the last people in it are going to be the ones who are going to lose everything. It's fun if you were early in when the stock was at $3 and you put in $100 or $300 and you got your 100 shares. Oh, and now it's at $300. That's awesome. But at some point, somebody's going to put their only $1,000 they have in the world into the stock. And that's going to go straight to, $1 or $2. And they're going to just lose everything. So as funny as it is, and I don't know what the right answer is. I don't know if the answer is more regulation or less regulation or no regulation or what, but it's dangerous. It's dangerous precedent to be set. Although, and another part of me is like, well, market manipulation has been happening for decades anyway, usually the other way around. So all's fair in love and war and stock market, on the other hand. But unfortunately, while individual investors are, day traders are sitting there laughing, raking in the money now, the rest of the world that has money in 401ks and just, doesn't do day trading, they're the ones that are probably going to lose in the long run. And so, okay, a lot of people lose just a couple of dollars. That's not the big deal. But there's also going to be individuals at the end who are going to be the last suckers in, and they're going to lose the most. But what are you going to do? If you put money in the stock market, it's a lot like gambling. You could lose it all. Uncle Remus's Bird of Prey is the true Wolf of Wall Street. My risk tolerance when I had stocks and mutual funds and whatnot was pretty low for somebody of my age group. Yeah, you know what? I mean, as far as I can tell, there's nothing illegal, so go ahead and have fun. Just understand, if you're going to play this game, it's a stupid game, and you know what happens when you play stupid games. You win stupid prizes. But, yeah. So with that, we're going to head over to the screening room. And we're going to get started today. And of course, if there's something you want me to say during the stream, type in @BirdOPrey5 in the comment. And as long as it's not a ridiculous comment, I will read it as soon as I can. Okay. So with that, I'm going to count down. I have to shut off. I have to shut off the audio. There we go. So you guys can't hear the audio when I start playing it. Perfect. Joseph's puts money in the stock market. Well, that could be more useful. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. And it opens to the promenade, and Jake looking out over the promenade, seeing what's going on down there. And Odo comes over, asks if he's enjoying the view. He's stuck on a new story he's working on. Odo says there's no need to explain. He just thought, what? Odo's like, what? What do you think? He was going to ask him to leave. Odo says, why would I do that? He says, you always used to chase him away. Odo says, I never used to chase you. I would chase Nog. You just happened to be with him. And Yitza put out a new video. Oh. So unless he's going to throw sand peas or sand fleas down, and Jake says he doesn't have any. Odo says, you miss him, don't you? And Jake says, maybe a little. And Quark says, a little? Man, there's not a day that goes by that he doesn't see Jake standing here looking for a no good nephew of his. He's like, it's not every day. And Quark says, yeah, just 4 or 5 times a week. Quark says, Nog should never have gone to the academy. You lost a friend and I lost a good waiter. He says, remember that next time you play Domjot by yourself. And Jake says, you don't want me hanging around here, fine. And why is Jake wearing this? Quark says, I suppose that's what you get for having friends. Just when you think you can count on them, they go off and leave you. You're much better off without friends. Odo says, I guess that's why you don't have any friends. And Quark says, look who's talking. Yeah, Odo says, I guess that's why you don't have any friends. And Quark says, look who's talking. Is this the right episode? Oh, yes, it is. So Jake comes in to the quarters and says, Dad, and Jennifer Sisko is sitting on the couch with Captain Sisko. And he goes, Mom? And he's like, what's going on? And now Sisko's got to explain to him how Jennifer is there. And the opening credits. Do. Do 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 do. Dun 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 dun. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Dun 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 dun. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Can you imagine? She had to beam on near ops. Everybody sees Jennifer Sisko beam on, and Sisko's like, "Come to my quarters," and Sisko gives them all the stink eye. As if any of you tell Cassidy that she was here, you're all going to get thrown out the airlock. So okay. So Jake knows that she's the mirror universe. And he's like, "You look exactly like my mom." And she's like, "Yeah, and I was married to a guy that looked exactly like your father." So Jake says he's been wanting to meet her ever since the dad told him about her, which was a while ago. He's like, "You even sound like my mother." Ops to Captain Sisko, a minister's shuttle, docked. He's like, "Give him a few minutes, offer him a tour of the station." And she's like, "I already tried. He's anxious to meet. His time is limited." And he's like, "Why are you here, Jake?" Jake asks, "Why are you here?" She's like, "I came here to see your father." He says, "That's great." He says, "We got some good news. The Terrans won an important victory. They've driven the Alliance off the space station." And he's, she knows. She's like, "Yes, Ragnar, their father's told you all about us." She's like, she understands. It's not like you're expecting. Jake's like, "You're not leaving, are you?" He's like, "Is it all right if I visit with Jake for a while?" Sisko's like, "I don't think Jake would have it any other way." She's like, "Maybe the three of us can have dinner together." And Sisko says, "It depends how long the meeting lasts." Jake says, "Well, wait. I don't know, Jake. This is not going to go over well with Cassidy Yates if she finds out." Rockslide says, "It would have killed me to see my mom talking to my dad years after, as long as she's been gone." Yeah, it would. This is crazy. Oh, she never thought that he'd hold those hands again. They feel just like his mother's. That's got to be weird to her. She should be getting weirded out by this. And Jake walks away, and she's still smiling. Rocksolid says, "I've had those dreams for 26 years. I hate waking up from them. I'm sorry." But yeah, this is a freak. That had to be a really weird feeling. So it took 3 hours for why the emissary couldn't endorse his land reform program. He's got someone waiting for him. He's got to go. Jake, Jennifer, oh, where are you? Why are my quarters empty? Computer, where's Jake Sisko? Jake Sisko is not on the station. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, there's one of those transporter devices that'll get him to the mirror universe. He knows what happened. And he's like, you sure this is what Smiley used? Yeah. And he's convinced Jake is over there. Jake and Jennifer aren't on the station. Like maybe he convinced her for a visit. And Jedi is like, maybe she left him behind as an invitation to join them. And he's like, I'm not going to accept, but he does need to get Jake back. And Kira says she could use, if he wants company. And of course, O'Brien and Kira are coming with them. And she's bringing phasers for all of them. O'Brien's like, you expecting trouble? Yeah, you're expecting trouble. You're going to a different universe. The phaser's the least of the trouble things you should bring. And they beam over, but of course, only Sisko actually goes. Kira and O'Brien are rejected from the transport. Because there was only one device. And there's Smiley. He's like, what happened to the others? Smiley says they weren't invited. He's like, where's Jake? He's with Jennifer. He's showing at the station. And he's like, I'm afraid we have a problem. Jake's not going anywhere, and neither are you. He fell for the old steal my son to an alternate universe trap. Sisko's like, save the speeches, Smiley. He's like, you have every right to be angry. We haven't played fair. He's like, you kidnapped my son. He's like, we didn't kidnap. He's like, oh, terrible, weird word. If we had come and asked for your help in fighting the Alliance, would you have said? You would have said no. That's why we had to use your son. Simple logic. They need his help. No one else will do. And then he brings up the Defiant on a data pad or the view screen wall. Last time he visited a station, he took a moment to download all the computer files he could. They figured it'd come in handy, and they have. See, taking Terok Nor is one thing. Keeping it is the tricky part. An alien fleet is on its way. He wants to be ready for them. He says, these schematics look complete. What do you need me? If you want to build another Defiant, why do you need his help? He's like, we already built it. Where? Where did you build it? He's like, we already built it. The problem is that the whole ship tries to blow itself apart. And Sisko said, we had the same trouble. And he's like, well, how'd you fix it? He's like, we had to overhaul the structural integrity fields. He's like, how long did it take? He said, 2 weeks. And he's like, well, we've got 4 days, which is funny that O'Brien's the one telling Sisko that they've got the short amount of time, because usually it's the other way around. Not lost on me. So he's like, help us, and I promise we'll get you and your son out of here before the fireworks begin, and the Defiant is at docking port 5. He's like, I want to see my son first. And Smiley's like, I knew you would. Oh, and there's Dr. Bashir. Captain Bashir now. Captain Bashir, Captain Sisko, Captain O'Brien. We don't have enough ships or weapons, but we have plenty of captains. You must have missed that cheery face. He's like, is he going to help us or not? And he says, yes. He says, yes, the captain has found it in his heart to aid us once again, says Smiley. And Bashir punches him in the face and says, I owed you that. I let you hit me. I let you hit me once because I thought you were our Captain Sisko. And Sisko says, we're even now. It's this Smiley says, if I were you, I'd keep out of his way. So Jake comes over and sees Nog. He says, you and I are friends? Ha ha ha. You're too tall. I don't trust you. He's like, but tall women, that's a different story. He's like, here, see for yourself. He sends a woman over, and Jennifer says, Jake, isn't she a little old for you? And Dog's like, who are you, his mother? And Captain Sisko comes in and says, Jake. And she's like, I'm sorry, Dad, I had to come. hearing about everything that's been the last 9 years. It's like your mom. He's like, in a lot of ways, she's not your mom, says Sisko. But Jake says, but in some ways she is. And not just physically. She looks like her. She has the exact same smile. This place is unbelievable. Chief O'Brien, Dr. Bashir, Dax, they're all here. I know it's not them, but look, here's Nog. This is my father. He's tall too. He doesn't trust tall men. He's gonna talk to Jennifer alone. Jake says she likes you. He's like, whatever plans you're making, forget about them. I'm not making any plans. It's right, because he's got to go back to Cassidy Yates. You wouldn't want to break Cassidy's heart, would you, Jake? Dan23 says, Bird of Prey, you think O'Brien and Mira O'Brien are that different? Well, we don't know. We don't know. So it was Jennifer's plan. Whose plan was it? It was Jennifer's plan. She's like, I knew Jake would want to meet me. So he's like, she's like, Sisko says, you're nothing like his mother. And Jake and Jennifer's like, I think Jake would disagree. And Sisko says, it's not your cause I have a problem with, it's your methods. In Jake's head, they're already a family living together. But in truth, Sisko did lie to her and pretend to be her Sisko, last time. Dan says they did the same thing in the Mirror Universe Enterprise episode. They had captains, but not many. Yeah. And Thomas is Bird of Prey. Jake is a jerk. Well, he's not a jerk. He's just a kid who has a second chance with his mother, or so he thinks. So Sisko says he doesn't want her. He doesn't want her hanging around Jake anymore. She's like, I can't do that because Jake won't leave her alone. So now we see a Klingon Nebvar ship, and we're gonna see Worf for the first time. Mirror Worf, and Garrick has a chain around his neck, and he's like, bow before the Regent, and Worf is holding the chain of Garrick. He's like, this is the Batak that lost Terok Nor to the rebels. And Garrick's like, that's not exactly true. And he's holding his neck. He's pulling on his chain. And he's like, are you, like, I'm just observing one of many officers under the attendant's command. It'd be an overstatement that he alone was responsible for his defeat. But he's the only officer who managed to escape. He's like, maybe I should have surrendered to them. Laid on the floor, bending for their life, like the attendant. It's like, don't attempt to shift the blame away. Worf is pissed. He's like, this time I will deal with the rebels myself. You will be at your side, redeeming yourself in battle. Garrick says, your fairness and good judgment are everything I heard them to be. He said, believe me, it'll take the blood of many rebels to quench the thirst of my revenge. And Worf says, spoken like a Klingon. He's like, I'm trying. And Garrick says, if you'll just remove this insufferable collar. And Worf says, no, the collar stays until every rebel on Terok Nor is dead. Hail, Karoga, says Carlo. So we got the Defiant. So they built the Defiant at Terok Nor. Which is incredible, because you would think if they could build the Defiant at Terok Nor, they could build more Defiants at Deep Space Nine. And then they could have a fleet of Defiants instead of just one. No raise Karoga, Thomas. Oh, and there's Dax, and she slaps him. That's for making love to her after under false pretenses. Like, if you ever touch me again, she's gonna stab him, I guess. The attendant is being tortured. You remember the attendant. Oh, it's Mira Kira. Bashir was conducting an interrogation session. Kira says, if this is supposed to teach me a lesson, you want to turn that little toy to a higher setting. And he says, gladly. And Sisko said, that's enough. There's a difference between interrogation and torture. Bashir said, the Alliance never made that distinction. Sisko says, you should. Bashir says, take her back to the cell. Roxad says, how did they build a warp core at Terok Nor? Maybe they pulled it from another ship. And now Mira Kira says, last time you were here, you had me completely fooled. I really thought you were my Benjamin Sisko. He says, that was the idea. And she says, help me escape. And then she'll be grateful. Very grateful. If you know what you mean. He says, I'm sure you would be, but don't count it. He's like, well, will you find Marani and have her sent to my holding cell? He gives the most exquisite massages. Dan says, Bird of Prey, in Voyager, Messenger in a Bottle, we see more Defiant class ships, but I guess they were built near Earth. Yeah, they probably were built at the Utopia Planitia shipyard. So they're talking about the new ship, improved photon torpedoes, multi-targeting phasers. So Garrick says maybe it'd be prudent to increase our speed to warp 9. Worf says if it wasn't for your incompetence, the rebels would have been destroyed. And Garrick says, I thought we agreed it was the intendant whose orders caused this. And he says, well, you following those orders, you deserve to die. Garrick says, well, then just kill me already. Like, at least he was able to please her now and then. He can't please Worf. Monty's Folly says, BDSM Kira doesn't work. She looks like a reject from a Dutch granny porn magazine. I don't think I'd go that far, Monty. Ellie J. Qapla says, awesome, I'm not the only one rewatching DS9. Of course not. Lots of people rewatch DS9 every day. So Jake is saying that Sisko men have the cooking gene. He's like, you should try one day my father's whatever, gumbo or something. And she says, maybe one day I will. Chicken a la Sisko. Jake made dinner. So Captain Sisko saying, Jake, it's time to call it a day. And Jake's like, in a minute, Dad, I don't want to leave a mess. Jennifer, it's not necessary. They offered Sisko if he wanted to eat. He's just too tired. And now Jennifer is going over. She sees Sisko is stressed. He's like, how's work going on Defiant? He says, slowly. Oh, she's giving him a little bit of a massage. Does that feel better? He's like, yes, but I don't know what you expect to gain. She's like, I don't expect to gain anything. She just wants to remind you I'm not the enemy. I don't know why you're being so hard on me. You pretend to be my husband, and I forgave you. By the way, you did a good job with him. And Jake's out of earshot. He's like, you're not making that job any easier. He's like, he'll get over me. But she wishes she could say the same. Is it really a surprise? Think about it. Her Sisko's dead. I look at Jake, and all I see the son that she'll never have. Oh, maybe bringing him here wasn't such a good idea. Monty said, yeah, Rock's odds is bird of prey, son of a bitch. Cloris Leachman died. Who's that? A comedian? I don't have a face for the name. Yeah, seriously, rock solid. I mean, maybe if I see a picture, I'll know who she is. So, she was 94 years old. The Mary Tyler Moore Show. So, Phyllis, what? Oh, the an Oscar-winning star of Young Frankenstein and Phyllis. Oh. So Dax and Bashir are going to go on a mission to slow them down. Oh. He's like, before you go, you better make damn sure you can get some extra time. So they're going to Kira, trying to get help from her. Like, why don't I cut your throat? Quick death. Much less painful than anything the Regent will do to you. He says, I think you better worry about what the Regent is going to do to you. He says, the Regent has no reason to question her loyalty. It's not your loyalty, it's your effectiveness. And he's like, you lost it. You lost the Terrak Nor. He's going to be very pissed. He's like, it wasn't me, it was Garrick. And he's like, Garrick was smart enough to escape. He says, Garrick is a coward. He ran at the first sign of danger. He's like, right into the Regent's arms. He's probably laid the blame for the station entirely on you. And Kira says, you have a point. He says, good. So now, is there any weakness in the Alliance fleet? Something they can exploit? It's like there's a possibility. Why don't you lower the force field and join me in here? It might help stimulate her thought process. He says, I would think self-preservation would be enough stimulation. It's like, that's not very friendly, especially if you want my help. It's Professor Sisko, isn't it? She's very attractive, but I've seen icicles warmer than she is. Roxanne says she was Maw in Raising Hope. She was in the reboot Beverly Hillbillies. She was hilarious. Okay. Thomas has never heard of her. Ellie JJ says, crazy this episode is on. Dan also looked her up on Google. Don't really know her. Oh, we got some birds of prey too. Wow, look how big that ship is. The Nevar. He wants the key. He didn't take the keys, Garrick says. He says, you are lying, says Worf. And the other guy says, I'm telling you, he stole it from me while I was feeding him. He's like, don't make me ask you again. What good would the key do me? Even if I thought it would unlock this collar, where could I go? I can't get off the ship. And besides, you've searched me 3 times already. Where could he possibly be hiding it? Worf is like, perhaps you swallowed it. He's like, impossible. I'm very particular about what I eat. He's like, we will see about that. And Worf cuts him, stabs him in the stomach. And he's like, I found the key! Somehow it fell into my boot. And Garak's like, now do you believe me? And he pulls the knife out. And so Worf tells the guy who lost the key, if he dies, you die. So they're taking Garak for some medical attention. Yeah, just a flesh wound. They're fleeing. And Worf says, wise choice, but they won't get far. And we got some birds of prey firing on one of the, what used to be a marquee raider, but I don't know what they are in this universe. Just to buy them some extra time on the Defiant. Dan says, stabbed for nothing, lol. And could use some smaller hands. And Jennifer comes over. He's trying to recalibrate something sensor. It's Professor Sisko, remember, she says? Says, for what it's worth. You should know I told Jake the truth. My visit to you, why he brought him, everything. And he says it doesn't matter. He's just glad to have met her. And the funny thing is, she knows he means it. And Captain Sisko says he has a forgiving nature. It's like, it's more than that. I don't think he could be angry even if he wanted to be. She reminds him too much of his mother. She's like, nobody's ever cared about me like that before. Aww. So if it's all right with you, I will see T at the he's sent back to Deep Space Nine. And he says, when? Right away. I said, what's Smiley gonna say about that? He trusts you to finish your job, and so do I. So Sisko's happy about that. Would you like to say goodbye to him? Benjamin is like, nah, he better finish here. Tell Jake I'll see him soon. And she's like, Ben, when we first met, there was a connection between us. And now, because of what I've done, it's gone, isn't it? And Captain Sisko says, I'm never sure it was real to begin with. Aww. You should have just said, I'm dating somebody. It's serious. Joseph says it's not a murky rider. It's a marquee. A Maquis. I said Maquis. A Maquis raider. So Jake is back on DS9. Oh no, he's back on Terra Ignore. And Nog comes out and says, what are you doing here? He's like, I'm just thinking. Nog says, go somewhere else. And he's like, your thinking makes me uncomfortable. And Jake says, so Jake says, where I come from, we're friends. You're the one who's being thrown away. So Nog says, you think I'm impressed by your parallel universe? And he's like, go. He's like, you're a long way from home, human. And Jennifer comes to Jake and says, I need to speak with him in private. Nog is like, get the hell out of here. Stupid human. Because the Nog runs the bar now, because if I remember, both Quark and Rom were killed in previous episodes. So they have a guard on the intendant, and she says, are you as bored as I am? She's like, I'll take this as a yes. She's like, I bet if we put our heads together, we could create a little excitement for ourselves. And he's like, you sentenced my wife to death. He's like, isn't it a coincidence? I was hoping you weren't married. And now Nog comes in with the intendant's dinner. And he's like, show him. And Oh, Nog beats the guy with the food tray. He takes his phaser and he shoots the because of course all prison doors collapse as soon as you shoot the phaser. Shoot the door. She's gonna need the gun. He says, "I take it we're on the same side." He's like, "You killed my father and my uncle. Thanks to you, I own the bar." And he's like, "I got a ship waiting for you at landing pad 5. So Nog is a big fan of the Intendant. Thomas, his bird of prey, also can't pronounce Negvar either. It says it's time for Sisko to go. He's wishing him luck. It's time to go. He's just wishing him luck. I only wish I could have got to know her better before taking her into battle. But a little on-the-job training. So Sisko, he's being guilted into it. He says, "Get out of that chair, Smiley. Just do it." Sisko's going to take command. Seal the airlock. He's like, "What are you just standing there for, Smiley?" He's like, "Captain, you never cease to amaze me." He's like, "Sometimes I even surprise myself." How long do you think the shields can withstand? Long enough to see how tough the ship really is. So Nog says, "Are you sure you want to leave now?" She's got reason. She can go where she wants. She's got friends there that'll hide her. And Nog says, "Don't worry about me. I won't tell anyone where you are." And she says, "Nog," and she shoots him dead. He's like, "You're right. You won't tell anyone. That was pretty stupid of you to tell him where you were going to begin with there, Kira." So Jake is like, "I don't see why you can't come to DS9 with me." Oh, and there's Kira. She's out and says, "Jennifer, you're looking as beautiful as ever." And she points the phaser at Jennifer. And now she's just jealous. She's jealous Sisko wants Jennifer more than her. Jealous woman scorned. Dangerous position to be in. And now we got the Defiant. Is this is it ISS? Did they give it a designation? Hugging the donkey, if you will. Going around the station, firing on birds of prey. Rocker parked to starboard. He doesn't know what pattern alpha is. So he just rockers back and forth. Hard to port. Yeah, I don't know that going around the inside of the station is the best course of action in such a fight like this. And boom, boom, boom. He's like, "I need to remember that one," says Smiley. And Kira says, "Not only do you guarantee me safe passage off the station, but you make a great present for the Regent as well." And she's like, "You want me to go? That's fine, but leave the boy here." He's like, "Why is he so important to you?" And she's like, "Doesn't matter. You're leaving him here." He's like, "Fine. He doesn't have to come." And he points at her and to kill Jake. And Jennifer jumps in front of her and takes the shot. And Jake's like, "She needs a doctor." And Kira's like, "I'm afraid it's too late for both of you." Like, "Why is she protecting you?" And Jake says, "She's my mother. You're Sisko's son from the other side." "Well, in that case, give your father a message for me. Tell him I spared your life, but she intends to collect." Dan, that ship is just called the Terran Raider. Thank you. Right at it. Pattern suicide, says Smiley. Concentrate your fire at the ship. It's headed directly towards us. This is good. That should make it easier. Terra Nora will soon be ours again, says Worf. Says, then you can spend the rest of your life contemplating your failure as you labor along the slaves in the ore processing center. Garrick says it's nice to have something to look forward to. And they've got the Defiant right up against, whatever it is, right up against the Nevar. And they just... So Sisko takes over flying because he knows the ship better than O'Brien. So he just gets real close, too close for them to target, and he just starts firing at the Klingon ship. Apparently the Klingons' weapons can't turn quick enough to fire at a ship so close. A terrible lapse in security. They're flying too close. They can't target him. They put a hole in their forward shields. What shields? They're flying right next to it. Bird of Prey just warped onto it. Like secondary power. They can't risk giving the cruiser a clear shot. And there's Bashir and Dax. So now they're in the fight too. They destroyed a bird of prey somehow with a Terran raider. Dan says on Memory Alpha, the website, it's the ISS Defiant. Yeah, I know that's what Eagle Moss called it. But it really doesn't make sense that they would call it ISS at this point in time. But I'm not going to argue. I mean, it's fine with me. I don't care. So Garrick is saying, forgive me, Regent, but maybe it's time to remove yourself from the battlefield. And Worf says, you mean retreat? He's like, you know, just smart or something. And Worf left. That's it. They're breaking off. They won. And Sisko says, you sound surprised. Smiley says, astonished. Not that he's complaining. And Worf says, I've been betrayed. And he's like, there can be no other explanation for his defeat. And he's like, the traitor must be found and punished. And Garrick says, he will. It's the attendant we're talking about. Yes, the attendant. Of course. He's like, well, Garrick's like, all I ask is that when the moment comes, you allow me, your humble servant, to have the honor of administering her punishment. I promise you, she will regret her disloyalty before she dies. She's like, and as you dispose of the attendant, I'll dispose of the rebels. And then Worf says, make it so. A great nod to Star Trek The Next Generation. Captain Picard. Make it so. Awesome. That was a nice, happy scene that goes into this very sad scene where apparently Jennifer was shot with the slowest killing phaser on kill ever created, and she's still alive, but there's nothing they can do for her in sick bay. She's just alive long enough to say, Ben, and take his hand. Intendant, says Rock Solid, not attendant. No, a flight attendant or the intendant. I gotcha. John DeMarco says Enterprise D versus Bird of Prey wins. Tiny Terran Raider versus Bird of Prey, Raider wins. Yeah. She's dead, Jake. Aw, they're hugging. Now we'll just have to go to another universe and find another woman that looks like your mother. There's an infinite number of them, so it shouldn't be too hard. And that's it. They end the story. They end the episode still in the mirror universe, but we're all to believe that they make it home safely and without issue. Because next week, we're right back at Deep Space Nine. Next week's episode is The Muse, where an alien chick gives Jake Sisko amazing writing powers, and all she needs from him is his brain. But in a lighter note, a very pregnant Lwaxana Troi returns, and there is in fact a surprise wedding when the very pregnant Lwaxana Troi marries Constable Odo. Yes, they literally get married. It is a wedding episode. The one of the shortest marriages in Star Trek history, and that's even shorter than Quark's marriage to the Klingon chick. Very short marriage between Odo and Lwaxana Troi. And I gotta say, if I remember this episode correctly, it is an awful episode in terms of father's rights. I get what they were trying to do, but if I remember it correctly, I mean, it's like using a loophole to screw a father from seeing his child. Like, I don't know how maybe there's something I'm forgetting, but I don't know how you get away with that. I mean, I remember at the end of this episode, I felt bad for the dad. I didn't think Odo did something great and wise. I was like, what the hell's going on here? This isn't right. But I don't know. Maybe I missed something. We'll see. We'll watch it again 1 week from today. The Muse. Roxod says, Bird of Prey, don't you mean Jake? Your hot mom is dead again for the second time, but she's still hot. Yeah, but not as hot as the first one, because the first one died in the fire. Yosef says, the Muse gives Jake a nose period. Yeah, he gets some bloody noses. Thomas says, the Muse is a stupid episode. You know, the Jake part of it is a pretty stupid part. I agree. But the Lwaxana Troi, it made me mad. So, and Claytu Babara Nikito says, yeah, that was a weird one for Odo. Yeah, it was a weird one for Odo, if I remember. Roxod says, Bird of Prey, I believe the actress who played the Muse is the same actress who played Evil Lynn in Masters of the Universe. Masters of the Universe, I don't know what that is, Rock Solid. I've heard of it, but... and John DeMarco says, and Michael and Sarah as well. Joseph says, is the marriage shorter than the one in Balance of Terror? There was never an actual marriage in Balance of Terror, unfortunately. The ceremony got prevented before they were officially declared married, which, was unfortunate. Hakeem says the father wanted to raise the child without the mother. Okay, so the other option is the mother raises the child without the father. Is there no... And is it forever? I thought it was just for a short time. Like he had to go to an all-boys school for a few years, if I recall. It was like, I mean, yeah, she wouldn't get to see him for some time, not forever. Maybe it was forever, but still, if that's the case, it was like the answer was, well, now the father never gets to see him. Dan23 says, Bird of Prey, the ISS Defiant was the Terran Defiant class warship that was in service to Terran resistance forces. But that's what I'm saying. The ISS, whatever, during the 2300s, the time of TOS, that makes sense. It was the Imperial starship. Okay, but the Terrans are not imperialists. They're far from it. They're rebels. It should be RSS or something like that. The Terrans of the 2400s of the Deep Space Nine era would not be calling anything an imperial anything. They're not imperialistic. They're not imperial. They don't have enough clout to be imperial at that point. I think they're just calling it ISS to make it easier for continuity or you know, so they can have a logo to paint on it. We didn't even see a logo in this episode. But the Eagle Moss ship has to have a logo, so you have to call it something. So they're calling it ISS, which doesn't make any real sense because they wouldn't have named it ISS. And Roxod says He-Man and Masters of the... Oh, He-Man. Well, you should have said He-Man. I mean, granted, it's been probably 30 years since I've seen a He-Man episode, but at least I know what He-Man is. So, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I did enjoy watching this episode. Fun time in the Mirror Universe. Very sad ending for Jennifer, but really happy we got to see Worf. I did not remember he said "make it so." That was a nice throwback to the Next Generation. With Garrick, seeing Garrick in a collar, chained up, you know, and we're going to get two more Mirror episodes before DS9 ends. So that's all nice and good. And again, 1 hour from now, just about, please, if you are awake, if you are available, come to the History with R&R channel and watch the memorial service for Richard Simpson, aka Admiral Oliver Franklin Doom. I will be there. Many of us will be there. We'll pay our final respects to the Admiral. And he was a great guy. Great YouTuber, great guy, great friend to many of us. And it feels like somebody I've known for years and years and years. But the reality is, it's only been a few months since most of us got to know him. So it's crazy. It's crazy. Dan23 says, by the power of Greystone. Roxod says, wait a sec. Are you leaving streams live now? And if so, had it affected your channel? Rock Solid, I'm leaving Bed Life and I'm leaving DS9 Wednesdays live, and it has not affected the channel in any measurable way so far. No new subs, no fewer subs. But until I put out an actual uploaded video, that's when we'll see if it starts making a difference. At this point, since I had no content going out anyway, I wasn't expecting to see a drop. The question is going to be when I put out a produced video, which I will hopefully get to this week. Will that video do as well? We'll see. We'll see. Thomas Potts wants Dear Bop. Obviously not today, Thomas. Rock Solid says, so it's not hurting. Oh, it doesn't seem to be, Rock Solid. It doesn't seem to be. But like I said, it's really going to depend once I put out produced videos, if it's going to hurt those. That's what the concern was. Being my last produced video is already 3 weeks old, there really wasn't much to lose at this point. But thank you again, Rock Solid. We are going to try it. We're going to see how it works out. Yeah, we'll hope for the best. So thank you all. Qapla again. And I hope to see you guys in just about an hour on History with R&R. Bird out. Thank you all for watching my video. Please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell icon. Without it, you won't get notifications of new videos. Check out BirdoPrey5.com, the new home of everything Birdo Prey 5 on the web. You can also check out my forum at juot.net. I'm also on social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Gab. If you'd like to make a donation, check out paypal.me/BirdoPrey5 or on BirdoPrey5.com. Take care.